know nothing anyway.
All right, looks like we're live, you guys. How's everybody doing? You too, Wes. How are you?
Yeah, remember, you got to be nice to them guys down south. We're having to wear them chaps like Steve told them.
They're all open in the wrong places, Wes.
Yep. Hey, Michael.
They're all open in the wrong places, Wes. Uh-oh.
Back.
Hey, Michael, how you doing? We got Blue Healer in here, 260, and we got Wes, and then we got Michael. We'll just sit here and talk to each other while we wait on some folks coming in. You want to come up here on the panel? Wes? Give me a thumbs up. Seems my link that I sent out didn't get sent out. It got waylaid or something.
Hey, Howie.
Oh, you never got your chaps, Wes? Bummer. Hey, Howie.
Hey, Jay.
Jay, too. Good to see you.
Seen Tibor earlier today. He's been absent.
Oh, Tibor's been out?
Yeah, I hadn't seen him on mine or Gil's for the last couple of weeks. I seen him today on Steve's.
Hey, Budget. How you doing, my friend? A long time. I'm starting to feel better, you guys. I'll just tell all you guys, I'm really starting to feel a lot better.
Wes, we're talking about meat food shortage. Read the title.
I'll put you a link up there, Wes, and then you don't have to talk down to us. You can be up here with the rest of us professionals.
I ain't no professional.
That's what you said, too.
I'm a nobody that knows nothing.
I know a little about a lot about, but don't know shit.
Hey, Ryan.
Ryan the gamer. Hey, how you doing, my little buddy? How's work going for you? I want to thank everybody for all the prayers they put out there for me. I think they paid off.
Hey, Budget, I hope you're doing better now. Cool, Howie.
Oh, I'm glad you're feeling better then, Budget.
Howie has 25 chicks. I do hope he means the feathered type and not the two-legged type.
25 chicks would be a lot to keep up with there, Howie. If they were the two-legged and blonde haired blue eyes.
Oh dear. Let's not do the blonde hair part.
Did I link you? I put a link up there for you on the chat, didn't I?
Nope.
Oh, I did push the send button.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
See, folks, he's a little out of touch and out of practice here. Just give him a few years. And,
yeah.
Catch back up.
Yeah. I haven't been doing this for a while, so it's all kind of new to me again.
Hypertension. That'll get you every time if you ain't careful.
A harem, all right. Cool beans. You're still young enough to do one of them harems, huh?
Oh, Jay, I totally agree. I was married to a pure Irish redhead. Never again.
Redheads it could be trouble.
Pure Irish redheads are. Mm-hmm.
I had a girlfriend that was a redhead like that. She hated it when I went home to my wife.
Gee, I couldn't imagine why.
Hey, Howie.
Evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
How the heck are you?
I'm well, and yourselves?
You know what? I'm starting to feel human again. I think I'm going to live.
Said lots of prayers for you. Put you on the prayer list.
I appreciate that. I really
All I can
appreciate
do.
that.
Yeah. So what's the topic, Will?
And we're going to talk about the food shortage, mainly the meat shortage that's starting to come up. It's just
Yeah,
starting.
they closed the chicken processor here in Vancouver. They closed all the chicken processing. So
Yeah, I think I
that's
saw
not good.
something about that.
I bought 25 Rhode Island red chicks right away. That'll do me for next year. Plus, there'll be a couple of roosters in there. I've been told.
Who's that guy
Oh,
that popped up by Howie?
It's some crazy Texan person.
He's right down there.
But squirrels are good eating, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got to say about meat shortage. Squirrels are good eating.
Guinea pigs. Not much meat on them, but they can be it.
I'd rather eat turtle doves before.
Turtles good eating.
Turtle is very good eating. If anybody's ever had snapping turtles are really good to eat.
Oh yeah. You just wave a stick in front of them, they'll grab right onto it and you lift them up.
If anybody knows about turtles, they got I can't remember now, it's been a while, but I think it's got like 7 different flavors in the meat, depending on where you cut it at.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about no 7 different flavors. It all tastes like turtle to me.
It all tastes like turtle. Well, all game meat, don't all game meat just taste like rabbit?
No.
Or chicken, I mean.
No. Rabbit doesn't taste like cottontail. Cottontail doesn't taste like jackrabbit. And jackrabbit doesn't taste like snowshoe hare.
Well, jackrabbit, they taste like crap.
Depends on where you get one at. If you get one from the grasslands, they're not bad. If you get one from the shinnery, they taste pretty rough.
Yeah. I suppose it depends on where they're from. Hey, Mrs. Green Thumb, I see you. Thanks for coming. But
dairy is dumping all their milk. We're talking about food shortages and stuff.
Yeah, the dairies. The farmers are having to kill their game because there's not anywhere to send them to.
Well, they haven't started killing the cows yet, but
it's coming.
Their catch pit or whatever is filling up faster than they can keep it pumped down because the thousands and thousands of gallons of milk they make every day are just going straight into the pit.
Yeah.
So they dump it.
I saw that.
Well, that's just one of 100.
Hey, Steve.
They're killing all the hogs and pigs and stuff, just putting them down because they can't get them through the plants fast enough.
People are sick. There's no worker there.
Yeah. And then, I was reading this article and they're saying that if you don't go to work, they try to fire you.
Well, if you go to work and you're sick, you spread it around in the meat plant. And we all got it. That's what happened in Wuhan.
That's why I think they said that's the reason that the meat, the production of the meat's so bad is because they only have enough people to put out 30% of the products.
Well, it comes also down to distribution.
They have
there's nobody.
They have no place to ship it.
That and they don't have truckers to ship it around either.
Yeah,
something like 70% of the food that runs through processing plants goes to either fast food or restaurants, sit-down restaurants. The sit-down restaurants are running at 30% capacity, so 70% of their grocery list doesn't need to be filled. So that 70% that's not being bought runs back up the line. There's the producers and the plants have no place to send their food. I mean, it's that simple. There's the And it's going to affect us because when everything opens back up, they're going to have to refill all the restaurants, which means the grocery stores are going to take another hit. And then they've already killed all these cows. They've already killed all these chickens. It takes about 2 months to get chickens from eggs. Well, it takes 21 days to get a chicken out of an egg. After that, it takes another, I believe, 8 weeks to get them big enough to put them in the grocery store.
Dave, he's in Ohio. Don't they have a lot of processing plants up there?
There's 28 plants across the United States, most of which are in the Midwest, closed right at the moment. With
And they're like in Ohio and Indiana, right?
They're all over here. And with no drivers, half the fuel stops closed because there's nobody to work them. Even if
food's rationed here.
Right. Even if everything opened up right now, right this very minute, everybody opened right up and all the truckers went back to work. It's going to take 30 full days before we see an improvement in our stores.
Because they would take it that long to get up to 100% production.
It's going to take longer than that to 100%. It's just going to take 30 days before we start to see an improvement. To get back to 100%, you're talking a full year because you can't grow a cow in 2 months. Yeah. It takes a year to grow a cow big enough to go from being bottle fed to grain fed to slaughterhouse.
I was watching the Wyoming news, and
I know beef producers like cow ranchers. I know them. They're just not sending their cattle in. They're just keeping them back. They're not slaughtering them like you're hearing on the TV, man. That's just not happening. They're keeping their herds out free ranging until you can send them in for production to get cut up and served to us. They're just not.
There's no way they can slaughter them because that wouldn't make any sense.
No, I talk to ranchers all the time here, and they're just not sending them in because they're not getting any money for it. For one, for two, there's nowhere to send them because all the beef plants that were in Alberta all closed. All closed.
Maybe the hogs and the pigs or something like that. Because those guys, when they give birth to 8 or 10 or whatever at a time. I don't know exactly what the number is, but they give birth to a lot. So that would make more sense for them to destroy some of those than it would be cows or anything that only gives live birth to one at a time,
And they're actually killing the baby pigs, not the breeders yet. Yeah.
I know that I was watching the Wyoming news. Wyoming's like 20 miles from me, so I kind of keep close eye on local stuff. And Wyoming was saying that they have it set up so when you go to Costco, you can only get two packages of meat at a time every day.
Worse here, you have one.
Some places have one
package of meat, 2 pounds of butter, 1 jug of milk, and 3 cans of soup. That's what you're allowed. And a loaf of bread.
I know right here where we're at, the meat is you can only get 2 packages of hamburger. If you go into the store, you get 2 packages of hamburger. But if you're going to get another piece of meat, you can't get the hamburger. You have to get 1 package of another kind of meat.
Yeah, but they tell you to stay home, not to go out. But if you're only going to buy 2 packages of meat, you got to go back out.
Yeah,
it's a catch-22.
That works great for those who have a car and can afford to get out every single day. But like me, who has to walk everywhere, I ain't walking to the store every other day to buy food.
Exactly.
Once, maybe twice a month. Right now, they have rationed the meat here. They have the bread and a few other items.
Hi, Lori Jean.
Hi, Lori Jean.
Okay.
Sorry, Will, you at the same time.
The whole ration thing, saying they don't have a demand for the product, so they're not buying the product, they're not slaughtering the product, they're not shipping the product, yet they're rationing the product at the stores, causing the availability to seem like something else other than what it is. A lot of the things, they just ring really scary bells on me, and it goes to the whole tinfoil hat thing where I think it's less virus, more something else.
That's what I think too. Because I keep track of the stuff around me, like Colorado and Wyoming, because those are close to where I live, real close, within hours. So those guys are telling you the way it is. They're not giving you no gift wrapping or anything like the bigger cities and stuff. If you keep track just locally, you can kind of see through all the haze and stuff. And I'm with you, Wes. I think it's not all this pandemic stuff. I think there's another part to the picture.
The scary thing is it's the entire freaking world doing it. It's not just our government. So it just, I mean,
well, it's either one huge, massive conspiracy, or there might actually be a little bit to it.
What scares me is
I think it's the people that have the dinero. They're trying to control us. I can't hear you, how your volume's messed up.
I know. I just fixed it. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can. Yeah.
I've noticed some things. I study plants, right? So I have a great concept of observation because this one's going to open into a flower, right? So we all had Greta, right, telling us the world's going to come to an end and their future was stolen. Well, now we got a pandemic and the world's getting healthier. I don't know. It just feels a little funny to me.
Well, it's just like global warming has suddenly become global cooling. Because
there's something not right here. It stinks.
Well, when they do this whole global warming summit next year,
technically change, but
when the scientists that have been screaming that global warming is happening, next year when they do the whole summit for global warming, those doctors have already published papers that are now publicly readable, and you have to go to Suspicious Observers to find the links to those papers because I'm not going to dig them all up.
It's interesting.
They admit that they've been wrong for the last 40 years.
Yeah. Last year, the Department of Homeland Security in the United States told everybody to have 6 months food on hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what do we need? 6 months food on hand. Yep. I find this a little bit scratchy, like a chalkboard. There's funny things going on. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or anything like that. Like I said, I watch flowers bloom, but I do know, something's not quite adding up because the simple fact that now I'm happy that I can smell fresh air again in my city. I'm happy that you can see the Himalayan mountains again, that the world's cleaned up that much. But it's kind of funny that it's just one after the other, like the last year, get 6 months worth of food. But they didn't say why. But everybody went out and got 6 months worth of food. Some people got 10 years, and then some people didn't do nothing. Yeah.
Do nothing.
Yeah.
There you go, Gil. I understand you guys didn't get the links. It's my bad.
He's got grandchildren.
I sent them out. They just didn't make it to you guys.
I'm glad that the world's getting healthier, the planet.
That's it's kind of healing itself.
Yeah. But unfortunately, you got a bunch of people who got their tighty whities in an uproar, screaming, being stupid about it.
Yeah.
Want to go back to the old normal. Rather
than there's no going back, man.
Well, it's
never going to go back.
No, everybody's kind of liking the way it is, I think, anyway.
No,
well, you're getting fresh air. You can smell. You can smell again. You go outside for the first hour in the morning. You can smell the pines. After that, all you're smelling is automobiles, okay, and farts, burps, and bacon cooking next door and whatever. Now when I get up in the morning, I smell pines all day long. I can smell the fresh air coming off the ocean, and you know what? I can see Mount Rainier again. Nice and clear. I can see Mount Hood, Mount Charles. I'm like, oh shit. Oh, sorry. Oops. The view is great. It's fantastic. The view. Yeah.
Hey, Garden, how you doing? Hey, Steve, I didn't see you sneak in. How you doing?
He's been here.
Yeah, of course, they're trainers. Hello. Yeah, there's this pandemic thing has taught me one thing, and that is patience. You got to have patience because people get like today. A guy told me to f off when I had a mask on. I had to go to get the medication for this old friend of mine, and she can't do it. So I did. It's one of the very few reasons I go out. And he looks at me because I moved over. He was coming towards me, and the wind was at my face, and he had his mouth open. So I went over towards the wall, and I went like that, and he's like, "F you," and I went, I just kept walking. I just, people they don't have patience. You have to have patience.
I met Nap Earl. It's good to see you come by. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Oreo Moose. Hello. Good to see you.
Mouse. Oreo Mouse.
Mouse. Moose. Well said there, Will.
Oh, Joe. Good to see you.
Hey, Chef and More, it's a raid. You're getting raided by Chef.
Yeah, that's what it is. Hey, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you.
Chef and More is a pretty good channel.
She is a pretty good channel. Yep, I go over there a lot.
Yeah, very good channel.
Uh-oh. Are you making an entrance or what, Gil?
Sounds like it.
Sounds like it.
T-Mac, hey, how you doing, my brother? It's been a while for you and I, my friend. Good to see you. Uh-oh, he's beeping us now. What's going on, Gil? You trying to break my eardrum?
I think somebody may have accidentally clicked his link for him.
He has a bunch of grandsons to help him out.
You may have to mute him for a minute.
And the light of my life. So the bus
That's
goes,
not me, he says.
take it away, Mary Sue.
Then
Sure is
take him
him.
off. Take him down.
Did you email in that link or did you
No,
put
they
it up
pulled
in
it
the
off the
chat?
chat.
That could be a troll.
And take it out.
Yeah, because a
Oh,
troll
it's not
can
Will
do it.
Hussein. That's someone else. You got a troll.
Yeah. Yeah. That's one thing I do not do is put the link in the chat. I just
Nope.
I
was
just
in there,
put it in there for Gil.
Yep. But
and a guy said, "Hey, can I join?" And he put it over in the chat, and the guy joined, and the guy stood up and showed God and everybody is Pecker.
Oh no! Oh gosh! No, that happened at my buddies too.
Yeah.
Iron Dog
It just
63 there.
I mean,
Well,
you
Yeah,
don't.
go ahead and talk for a minute. I'll send it to him through the email.
Gil said he can't come up.
Gil not going to come up?
No, he's got grandkids issues.
Ah,
But
Look
on
at my
the
granddad.
everything getting back to normal thing, I got a few things. I know that we can't just open everything up and go running back to the way it was. But if we really, really want to crash to come where there's no food, no money to pay for food, no way to get food, people
Rebellion.
killing each other over food, all we have to do is leave it closed for another 30 or 45 days.
Oh, I agree.
We cannot do this.
No, but we have to be smart about how we open up. We can't just because, even though I don't trust the CDC far enough to throw the darkness itself, they're giving the warning that if we open up, lollygag don't give a crap, we will see a second wave of this, and it will be worse than the first.
We're going to see a second wave whether we open up slow or fast. This is a SARS deal. It's a virus. It's something that's going to come around in the late winter and again in the
it's not tempered by heat. They're getting it in Dubai. Dubai is at 100 some flipping degrees right now. They're seeing it in Dubai. So if Dubai is getting it in 100 plus degree weather, then it's not killed off like all these other people keep screaming it's going to be. Okay, so we can't use typical SARS theories with this one because it's acting different. Until we can get more than just 2 or 3 months worth of data, everybody keeps wanting to compare apples to oranges. Apple, SARS 1, we already have multiple years worth of data. SARS-2, we have 3 months worth of data. That's incomplete. We can't base everything we do on incomplete data. That'd be like telling a sergeant to go tell a bunch of grunts to go take that hill on the assumption that he heard there's only 2 people on that hill. Okay, well, half our grunts are fixing to be dead because there's 300 people on that hill.
Well,
It's
that's
like
our
very
problem
few-
mainly, I feel, is they don't ever stop long enough and get the data put together. They get a half-assed assumption of what they think is wrong, and then they go hell's gate against the odds and go back to doing it the old way.
Well, and you got
They did
places like
that. They did
Stanford.
that before on the SARS or whatever it was before this one.
Right.
You
and
know,
the
they
problem is
they
that-
they were going in the right direction to get the serum, and they thought they had it, and then they just took off in another direction and started headed for the next one, instead of just stopping and letting everything be put in place so that the next one wouldn't hit so bad.
This the second mutation or whatever of this particular type of virus or whatever, I guess they're calling it now or whatever. Anyway, this Super 19 feller is it's worse. It's easier to catch. It leaves you with scar tissue from now on for the rest of your natural life, whether it's in your lungs, your kidneys, your liver, your stomach, your bowels, wherever. It's really bad news. There's no way we cannot stay shut down for 6 or 7 months while we collect the data.
Well,
I mean, more people will die of starvation than of the virus if we stay shut down. We've got to.
I agree with opening up slowly, like in they could start opening up in the more rural states while they're still doing the research.
All right,
I'm saying the bigger metropolitan cities are pretty much stuck with being.
No, but the problem is most of your metropolitan cities are where 90% of our workforce comes from. Okay, but the biggest problem with this whole thing is you've got news stations, media outlets screaming, Stanford came up with this test and it shows that everybody's already had it and it's not that bad. Well, guess what? Every other country in this world, and that's not counting ours or China, said that the test that Stanford used and that LA County used, which is the exact same one, which was bought from a company in Minnesota, is actually manufactured in China, and every other country in the world has rated it at the worst. It has an 80% false positive rate. That means 80% of the time it says you got it, but guess what? It's wrong. So even the tests they're claiming are God's spoken word is wrong. So we can't base everything we're doing on test results that in and of themselves are the most fouled thing there is. We need better testing. We need to open up. I 100% agree. You know, I know people around here where I live who rely on work. They haven't been able to pay rent in 2 months. When they let this whole we ain't kicking you up because you ain't paid rent deal in another month or two, or whenever they decide to stop that, these people are still going to get evicted because they have no money. Okay, that stimulus check went to pay for food and gas and everything else. They still ain't paid their rent. So I agree that we need to reopen, but we need to do it with the proper mentality behind it that says, excuse me, these tests.
Thanks, Gil.
We need to get better.
Appreciate that, bud.
So we can get better people involved. So the tests that we test, because, you know, I don't think I've had it. If I go in and take that test and it says I've had it, they try drawing antibodies out of me that comes up bunk. Well, they've just wasted $2,000 worth of taxpayer money. And where's that money coming from? Oh, that's right. The Treasury just printed it out of thin air. Okay, so we need to do this properly. We need to do it incrementally, not just open it all at once like all these other states are wanting to do. Because if we aren't careful, we're going to cause a bigger problem than we currently have.
And see, everybody talks like Texas. Everybody wants to open it, just bam, open it up and let's go.
But that's what these
That's
states
not
are doing.
how we're doing it.
No,
We're doing it a little bit at the time.
No, you've got 5 states.
We didn't, I mean, I still can't go into the steakhouse and sit down and have a freaking steak.
There's 5 states you can. There's 5 states that never close down at all. And
How are their
what all
numbers?
these other states are saying, well, look at these states. They never close down and look at their death rate. It's not that bad. Well, those states haven't been hit yet. but you know,
I
No,
agree. We do have to open up. I think everybody that's in this live stream agrees that we have to open up. We just have to be careful about how we
A
do
lot
it.
of people screaming right now, screaming, "Leave it shut down! Leave it shut down! We're not ready to open! Leave it shut down! We're not ready!" Oh, it's because they're getting $600 extra a week than they were when they were working.
oh yeah,
on unemployment.
Those are the ones that are going to actually cause it a bigger issue because they're the ones that can go back to work here pretty soon and won't because the government incentivized them to sit on their lazy white butts or whatever.
And the deal is, if they get a recall to work and they say no, some of the states have already said no. We'll go ahead and let you keep your unemployment. No, if you get a recall and you say no, then you lose your unemployment. That is the way it is supposed to be.
I agree 100%.
If the people
Well,
are just
some of the states have started doing that. And then as soon as they start doing that, then they start whining and crying and get on the national news.
Let them whine and cry.
This is a country-ending thing. It is no longer a matter of just your own personal deal. You have to decide whether or not you're going to do your duty as a citizen of the United States of America and go to work and keep our country from going belly up and having to eat your neighbor or your neighbor's kids as opposed to risking being sick for a few days.
Hungry people are weak people. That's what you got to remember. Hungry people are weak people. Yeah.
Yep. And that's where I think that's part of the upper echelon. I'm not going to say the 1% because there's way more rich people than 1% that have an idea going on here as to this meat problem and the food shortage and stuff. It's a way to keep us under control.
Lori Jean,
I'm not a conspiracy theorist by far.
Lori Jean, I have very advanced COPD. If I get the coronavirus, I will die. I want them to open the economy back up. That's as clear as I can make it.
Yeah, I agree. I've got it too. If I wind up with the doggone crap, then there's a good chance that Charles will be parentless. Okay, I'm the only person he's got. There is nobody else on this planet for my son. And I agree. We need to open it back up.
Yes, exactly.
But if we open it up using false information, we're going to do more damage than if we wait. You get that test. There is 3 tests that are right now sitting at the FDA waiting approval. You need to get the FDA off their butts to do their job so we can find out which test is the most effective and distribute it faster than greased lightning. We need to get off our butts, or the government needs to get off its butt. That's an oxymoron in and of itself, but the government needs to get off its butt and do its job. That's what we elected them to do. That's why we pay our taxes to pay their stupid salaries, which they don't deserve. They need to get off their butts and get this stuff approved and get it mass distributed. So not only the big cities, but the rural counties can get these tests, find out who has it, take the people that are at high risk and ultra high risk, make sure those people are taken care of, but kept separated from the general populace in a way that they don't get it. So it's not spread any further.
Well, this is what I think is going to happen. They're not going to open it back up because they're not going to okay the drugs that work because there's no money in it.
Exactly.
And they're just not. We're going to go to war with China, and nobody's going to care anymore.
Well, it's not going to be no war.
I disagree with you, Howie.
I don't know if there'll be a war.
That's what makes us agreeable.
We open the economy up to what we can do not to starve to death. Let's talk about what we can do not to starve.
China has too much at stake to go to war with us.
100 million troops.
They already own a lot of our country.
100 million people.
And all
They
it takes
already-
is a stroke of the pen to take that away from them. Will, if we go to war, boom, they lose it all. We can
Yeah.
literally all our ownership and all our debt to them with the stroke of a pen. It's a pretty cheap way to get out of a banknote.
Just a piece of paper. I hear TP is needed. You know what? I got a small story to say. When the Chinese invaded Tibet and took the Tibet, Dalai Lama left. So then all the monks were given Chinese money. Well, they didn't use money, you see, so they used it for TP. And then they all got into some real trouble because Mao's face had some kind of dung on it. That wasn't good. But I'll tell you, any paper is good for TP.
Sandpaper, not so much. I'm just saying.
Yeah, true enough, Wes.
I've got a drawer full of that, and it's going to stay right in that drawer. I went out and bought 6 more rolls today.
Hey, Anthony's here.
Yeah, how you doing? I just saw him come in. How you doing, Anthony? Good to see you.
But if we don't get our government off its butt, the shortages we see are going to be worse. There's nothing you and me as general Joe Blow citizen can do other than keep knocking on doors saying, please, let's do this right. You know, Trump said he told the meat packing plants to stay open. Well, unfortunately, there's no employees in them to keep them open. So
That's right.
His word is worthless at this point because there's nobody to work. Well,
Well, if he didn't change his mind every 5 seconds, maybe they'd listen to him.
But
I'm the proud father of probably 400 plants that produce food. That's what I'm doing.
Right. Well, there's other areas in the cities that have people that aren't working. They need to take and bus those people to these places and say, hey, guess what? We're going to pay you guys $16 an hour here to do food. You got a week's worth of training, and we need to get this crap growing again. Let's get these people who are considered underprivileged or, you know, undereducated, however they want to call themselves and look at themselves. Let's give them a job, because I guarantee if you give them what, you know, it's somewhat worth, and they feel like they're actually doing something, they'll be the hardest doggone workers you can find. You want me to give you proof of that? Go find a group of Mexicans who make $2 an hour. They live 25 to 50 in a house. They group all that money together, so they all got a nice vehicle or two to drive in. They're living in a relatively nice house. They got all kinds of food to eat. You know why? Because they work their rear ends off to get what they've got. And they're
Lovely folks, too.
Right.
That's I was just getting ready to say, you know, we have all these people in the big cities and stuff, you know, push them out into the rural areas and get them to start
But see, that's not the way
farming and stuff. Then they could feed everybody else. They could help feed everybody else.
Hi, Iron Fire Horse. Good to see you, my friend.
The government designed it way back in the 70s to get people to move to urban areas, to make cities super large. It killed off a lot of rural farmers. I know farmers that were, you know, many, many, many generations since the founding of this country who went belly up back in the mid 80s because, oh, we're not going to buy grain from you no more. So they lost.
Well, they're getting ready to do that again. There's some more is going to be losing generations of farming.
But, you know, there's people in behind the scenes who want to make money, and they're not going to make money if things go a certain way. So they're going to do everything they can to change that. As in, like how we mentioned a minute or two ago about the drugs that do work, or was it Wes? Somebody mentioned it. And they're not going to approve those because they don't make somebody's bottom dollar fatter.
Yeah.
They won't even look at those drugs. They looked at hydroxychloroquine used by itself. Well, every other country that's used it has used it in conjunction with zinc and a Z-Pack, and it's had great results. But here in this country, oh, we tested a bunch of veterans in a veterans hospital, and we gave them hydroxychloroquine, and it caused more issues. Well, yeah, by itself, it's kind of poisonous. You got to mix it with something else. It's got to be taken with a Z-Pack at very minimum. You need to use zinc to get the body to accept the hydroxychloroquine as a good substance, not a poisonous one. So if you use bad tests and bad drugs improperly, yeah, it causes issues. But these people don't want to tell everybody the whole story. just like when Stanford and LA County used that stupid wrong test and said, hey, it's okay. Go back to work. I've been studying this since the middle of December when it first came out. I've looked at all medical reports from other countries because I don't trust ours. I don't trust the CDC. I definitely don't trust the WHO. So I go looking for doctors who in other countries who are not have no reason to lie to me or you about what they're doing and what they're finding. Because there's nobody paying their pocket. They're actually doing this pro bono, which means for free for those who don't know what that means. So if these doctors are saying, hey, we're getting good results with this, but we're doing it this step, this step, this step, and this step, and our government says, oh, we're only just doing this step, to heck with the rest of it, there's an issue there. And that's the issue we need to get fixed.
I think our country needs to work with other countries. It used to be that way, but for some reason it got stopped. So I don't know who stopped it, and I'm not pointing any fingers, but it needs to start over. Because I think then that's the way that we can find a solution faster.
What am I doing, Steve? Easy. I've got care packages set up for those around me who need it. I get stuff delivered to me every week, and I distribute that to those around me who need it. I don't sit on it. I make sure all those around me. I've got enough TP people right now that if somebody around me needed a roll or two, I give them 3. Okay. I'm willing to help others. I do try to help the people around me next to me understand what's going on. But, you know, some people just won't listen. They want everything handed to them on a silver platter. I don't get out. I don't have that many viewers on my channel. Most people don't want to hear anymore about, hey, go grow food. Oh, that's hard work. Well, if they don't want to hear it, you can't help them.
That's what I'm saying. You know, bring some of those folks out of the suburbs. Or let them be out here in the middle of nowhere helping everybody grow food.
They don't know how.
Well,
that's the problem.
Everybody starts somewhere.
Everybody up here, our
it's called on-the-job training.
Right. That's everybody right, up here. And a lot of people in the side chat here, all of our grandparents canned, grew food, could slaughter a pig, cow, deer, whatever, with no problems. The youth of today can't go to Burger King and open a paper bag without help. Because they can't.
That's part of the problem when everybody's talking about preparing and whatnot, is everybody that has a mag or whatever, they go out and they cross-train the other people. Here's a perfect solution right here. Go out and cross-train the other people.
Plant the food.
Who wants to hear a perfect story about what is wrong with today's youth?
For free. I show everybody for free how to make soil or a food forest that wants to learn it. But it's no good for me to go out and tell people to do it because unless they ask, then you've got communication. But until someone asks to learn how to grow a food forest and make soil, there's no good for me to tell anybody anything.
Because they don't want to do it.
They don't want to do it.
If they want to do it, they're going to ask. They will ask you. Yep.
Yeah. And you know what? COVID or no COVID, I don't care. I will always have up on my playlist how to make soil in your environment for free. I'll even mail anybody on this planet all the seeds, and I'd even buy you some trees to boot. If you're going to make your own food forest on any city lot or wherever you are, I'll help you. I'll help anybody. Even if I don't like you, I'll still help you.
Yeah.
Oh, sure I will. I have all my life. All my life, I've been building food forests. I've built 9 of them, you know. That's a lot for one person.
Most of the people that are going to be affected by this are because most of the people are like this young lady that was working at it was a local Sonic, okay? You can't go inside. So you go to these places where they bring you the food, right? That I eat there when I'm working in town. I go there all the time. The young lady was bringing the food out. The lady in the vehicle next to me said, be careful, there's a mouse on the sidewalk. The little girl, the 18-year-old young woman, ran back inside and gave my order to another person to bring out. Then she was coming back out and she realized she was on the same sidewalk where the mouse was and went back in and had to be escorted by 2 other young ladies to deliver the food to the car just down from me over a half-grown mouse. The people 8 to 18, maybe even 30, I don't know, for the most part, they're going to starve to death.
I totally agree.
They're doomed. And whose fault is it? We did this to them.
Yep. I was gonna say the parents or the friends of parents did it to them because of the technology or the age at the time or whatever.
I mean, who just refuses to do their job because there's a mouse that you could end its entire existence with pressure from 1 foot on the sidewalk.
Hey, John's
I
wife,
mean-
I just made jerky last week. Guess what? I still have a little left.
Doesn't sound like much.
No, it doesn't.
I could
last
understand. I would have a guy that I worked with. He was like, he would come find me. He would be like, Wes, there's a snake. That was my job. I was the maintenance guy. I got problems out of equipment. If there was something in the way of him pushing the start or stop button, I fixed it. Technically, a rattlesnake in between him and the start or stop button was a problem for him. He was horrified of snakes. He couldn't help it. That was the only thing I had against him was, that, and he was always borrowing my forklift without asking. But yeah, I killed the snakes. That's one thing. But boy, I just can't get over that mouse thing. And she literally squealed and tippy toe ran back inside. You just had to be there. The missus was there. She saw it. She saw the whole thing. We're all going to. A lot of us are going to starve to death trying to keep those people alive.
That's true.
And that
Robert and Cindy's got something here. He says he's noticed a lot of homeless in the outskirts of the big cities, and he said it's hard for them to see that before. I was going to bring that up. If you actually look at your homeless people, they've been dealing with food shortage most of their homeless career. They can find food when nobody else can. I had made a video to put up today ahead of this live stream, but my software decided not to let it be uploaded. And homeless people are already they've been on the food shortage end of things for a long time. Those would be the people to teach us how to deal with a food shortage because they can find food when nobody else can.
And replying to Steve,
Robert, what you're seeing, the homeless people in the vans and SUVs and stuff living on the outskirts or whatever, those are called wheelies. And if it's getting real bad, like in the big cities and stuff, yeah, they're going to go where they're going to go out to the edges and stuff where the panhandling's better and stuff, and they don't have as big a risk. If they're scared of being downtown, the tighter the population, the human population, the animal population is, the more chance you have of getting sick with any. It doesn't matter. Hepatitis B, the more people there are, the better your chances. It's they're driving their vehicles out instead of hanging out. They're going to the edges. It's they do that. I haven't been to Abilene or Lubbock or Angelo or anywhere. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they're probably here.
Steve made a comment. He says, "What are we doing to teach people about getting meat?" Well, you can take a man to a lake and show him how to fish, and he catches one, he'll eat for a minute. But if he doesn't pick up and remember how to fish, he's doomed. We can show people from now until hell freezes over how to clean and process meat. And I'll admit I'm a little rusty on it, but I still remember how. But that doesn't mean they're going to listen. If they come up and say, "Hey, how do you do this?" You're muted, Howie. Howie, you got to unmute yourself.
Sorry.
no matter how many times we teach somebody, if they're not willing to listen, most of these people, unfortunately, around where I'm at in the major cities, especially in the urban areas where they're reliant on food stamps, which the government just gave them almost like $1,000 to each family in the last 2 months. They want it handed to them. They're not going to take and learn how to walk out here. I've got deer that run through here. Unfortunately, the guy that used to live here that I had made a deal with is I shoot, he cleans because he's a lot better at it than I am. He done moved, but he's already got a hold of me and he says, hey, if it gets too bad, you still want to hunt deer? I said, yep. He says, oh, good. I'll bring my guns out. We'll go hunt deer and we'll feed the complex and my family. I said, hey, that works for me.
There was this lady that hiked the Appalachian Trail, Dave, and all she had was a soup can. And I like the part that you said about sharing. So I'm going to share a little bit here, Dave. A soup can be found in any recycling bin.
Mm-hmm.
You turn a rock over or log, you shake a tree, there's lots of bugs fall, crawl, whatever, pick them up, put them in that soup can. There's lots of dandelions around, lemon balm, pokeweed, put that in there, a little bit of water. Pretty quick, you got a meal in that soup can. And, people are gonna get up and look after themselves instead of going to the store. There's not going to be anything at the store. There's nothing being produced. Mm-mm. In about 2 years, you'll see this smooth out. But we're going to have a rough ride for a couple of years.
They closed too much down too quick.
That's right.
Based on false evidence.
In some cases, yeah.
And in the process of doing so, they created an issue with people who don't know how to do anything other than go, hello, McDonald's, I'd like to make an order.
They refuse people.
They can't even go to the grocery store and buy a month's worth of food in one shop because they don't know how to shop. I've got people who get $500 a month of food stamps and the 18th of the month, and they're out by the 23rd. How in the heck can you spend that much food stamps in that short period of time and not have enough? Charles gets $100 of food stamps a month because of his age. We take that $100, and I can take that $100 and buy 3 weeks worth of food for me and him, and then I supplement it with my disability check for the rest of the month, which allows me to buy snacks, pop if we want it, which I don't buy much of. I don't buy chocolate and candies. I do buy a bag of chips once a week. Okay, but I've got my freezer is full, my cupboards are full, overflowing. I've got food stored upstairs in my bedroom that actually belongs in the kitchen, but there's no room to put it. I take what I have and budget what I have. These people around me want it handed to them on silver platters and say, gimme, gimme, gimme. And until they are taught, if they'll listen, to do it the right way, they're going to fail. No matter how much we talk, we can be up here for the next 10 years discussing this. But if the people around us don't listen, it's not going to do any good.
They'll only listen when they're hungry and hit rock bottom and they're on the ground. And I ain't going to step over no man down on the ground. I'll share, like you said, to share there, Dave.
That's how I am too.
When people see you with your soup can, when they see you with your soup can and your rocket stove going and you're eating your bugs, I'll guarantee you, if you've got anything in your house, you're not advertising that you have it in your house. I'll guarantee you that, because you're going to have a mob show up. But before that ever happens, people have to have patience and get that soup can out. Go and find your bugs. I've done this. I've gone into my house, ripped out the shower curtain, and I've spent 3 weeks outside eating bugs. I lost 25 pounds, but I didn't, you know what? I was still strong. You don't want to get weak where you can't defend yourself. You don't want to get weak where you can't think and someone's going to program you, because that's what's going to happen. If there's no food, you have to do what you have to do. Like the oceans on both sides of the United States of America. God bless America. You have the East Coast and you have the West Coast. There's food there.
They're programmed, though. They're programmed to hand out.
Yeah, there's food there. I just went fishing. I got a bunch of fish. I didn't bother putting it up on YouTube. I got a bunch of trout. I got a bunch of cod. I didn't even bother. I just cleaned it, processed it, put it in the freezer. But guess what happened? 2 of my neighbors that came along with me and wanted to learn how to fish. One guy wrote everything down in great detail. I was impressed. He goes, so we come to this spot when the tide's like that, the wind's like that. And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, and this is the bait. And I showed him how to tie the hooks. He was all for it. He's like, and he has like 3 children, and he's like, anytime you go, Howie, just come and get me. I said, well, I'm gonna go all the time if there's a food shortage. There's lots of people with boats here, but you know what they did? They closed the boat ramp. The local government closed the boat ramp. Like, well, how are you supposed to launch your boat? So I just picked mine up with a couple of buddies. We just carried it down the road and put it in the flooding water. There you go. And the people are going, where are you going with that boat, Howie? And I'm like, well, I'm going to go and launch it. They're like, but the boat launch is closed. I said, I don't care. And there's a gate there. I just up over the gate. What are they going to do? Shoot me?
Yeah, really. I've done that before too.
So I filled up. I took my limit. I can't say no to people that want to go and learn to fish. But and already I've set people up for seeds, trees, all these years. And my entire block here has a lot of food growing already because I live here and I influenced them over the past 20 years, you know.
Well, like I said, Steve, to your comment, I don't know nothing. I'm a nobody. And I always tell people,
Dave, you're a pretty smart guy.
go do your own research, you know. But, you know, it's just like cleaning fish. You can tell them all day long. You can show them once or twice. If they're not willing to listen,
then they go hungry.
Steve, you're right. There are people coming here to learn. But you know what? I don't have a car. So I can't drive down to the big lake and catch a dozen fish and say, this is how you clean them. There is already 250 different YouTubers that teach people how to clean fish.
Yeah, that's right.
And they do it in a lot better job than I ever could because I don't have the nice fancy cameras and all this other crap. And I'm not going to go out and spend the money for those fancy cameras to do that. If they want basic information, I'll give them basic information. If they learn something, great. If they're not willing to listen and learn, then I can't help them. And that's the thing. I put basic information for beginner people on my channel. If they want to hem-haw around and say, oh, I do it this way. Well, good. If it works for you, go do it that way. This is how I did it.
Yeah.
Anybody?
You're just an idiot. You don't know nothing. Fine. I'm an idiot. I don't know nothing. And there's the door. Thanks for the watch time and see you later.
Anybody live up north where they're going to get frozen out in their gardens? There's going to be a big snowstorm up in Michigan and whatnot.
Well, we've had a couple of cold snaps down here. In the last 3 weeks, we have found baby birds every single day laying out here on our pavement.
I think humans are going to adapt. They're going to adapt.
Michigan and I can't remember where it is. Michigan for sure. Supposed to be maybe in the New York area too. Supposed to be down in the 30s tonight, I think. Saying that the gardens are going to all get frozen out.
Possible. Very possible. That's why I always grow early, mid, and late varieties of anything I can grow. That way you're going to make sure if there is a late frost, you'll get the mid and late food. You want to grow early ripening apple, a mid ripening apple, and a late ripening apple. And that's what I did. Actually, I just finished planting a new food forest just not about 3 miles from me. And I put all early, mid, and late varieties of tree crops in there over the past year and a half. We have over 50 types of trees in there, early, mid, and late varieties of plums, cherries, pears, apples that can be stored. And the list is endless. But we are preppers in the food forest permaculture circles. We prep. We don't prep. We don't go and prep when someone tells us to. We've been prepping for all our lives. Yeah, that's the difference. The strong will survive and the weak will die.
Right. We've already got the mindset.
The way nature is.
You know, you have to have a mindset. You know,
everybody
in the side chat here has already got the mindset to prepare in one way, shape, form, or another for various things in our areas.
We all have a different,
right?
I guess you'd call it a expertise, you know.
No, I wouldn't even call it expertise. We all have different perspectives. Okay. I don't live in the desert. I live in a very climate area. And I got all 4 seasons. Sometimes some are longer than others. But
You're in Ohio,
somebody down
aren't
in-
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. that's
Now,
what I
somebody
thought.
down in New Mexico or somewhere down there has a totally different notion of how to do things. What they do works for them. What I do works for me. But he can't take what I do and go down there and use it because guess what? It ain't going to work. I can't do what I was doing outside of the food forest part because what he does up there in VC, I can't
Don't
do
work in Ohio.
Right. So,
No.
I could put out everything for Ohio, but if somebody in New Mexico or BC or Toronto tries doing what I'm doing, it isn't going to
Doesn't work. No,
Yeah.
that's
We
right.
need to find people in their area to learn from
Local. Yeah.
because, even between where I live here at the southern part of Ohio to where my pastor in Michigan lives, which is dead center, right in the middle of the mitten, doesn't work the same.
People are going to have to migrate. People are going to have to migrate where there's better growing conditions.
or
That's
at least
one
where they
solution.
understand what they're doing. I grew up in Michigan. I can grow stuff in Michigan. I can't grow it down here in Ohio to save my life. Not to mention the fact I ain't got a place to grow it here.
Ohio's got some nice land there.
Yeah, it's just not cheap. I can go.
No,
up-
it is not.
I can go buy an acre in Michigan for around $1,000. You ain't gonna
Yeah.
touch an acre down here in Ohio and anywhere near where I live for less than 10,000.
It's $1 million an acre where I am, Dave.
Uh,
1 million. $1 million gets you an acre next door to me. I'm
Holy
lucky.
cow.
I'm gonna dig that out of my bank account and I'll be up there tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah. All the rich and shameless live here in my community, and I'm the people on my street and around my block, they grow a bit more food than the rest of the people in the village. I'm in a village of 3,700 here, and there might be 20 people that grow their own food here. So what's going to happen to those 20 people that are growing their own food? Well, buddy, what's going to happen? It's going to get taken from them.
Yeah.
As simple as
That's
that.
what they
I'm
do.
going to get overrun here within 6 months. I'll be overrun, but I got a backup plan. I'm leaving.
You're going to the island.
Yeah, you bet, man, and it's all mine. But you know what? There's a bunch of us. You see, we already have a plan. We all look after each other. You're your brother's keeper. You got to look after even someone you don't like. You got to love them. In my spirituality, that's the way it is. I was born into this. So basically, it comes down: do you let this guy starve to death, or do you show him what to do? Now, if he's already hungry, he's going to want to know what to do. So it's going to make a big difference. Right now, you can still run to the 7-Eleven. You can still run to Costco's and Wally Worlds. Okay, but I'll guarantee you, in 6 months, you won't.
No, it's all starting to slow down now.
Department of Homeland Security said last year everybody gets 6 months. I informed people that I cared about to go and do that. Only about 1% listened to what I had to say.
Yep.
So now,
I brought that out too. Yep.
Now the same people that I told to, you see, they've got a mask and they're funneling the stuff in from their car from Costco.
Yep.
Yeah, they waited till the last minute. And when you go to Costco now, there's a 4 or 5 hour wait to get in the door.
And there's a
So if you're
limitation
older,
on some of the
compromised,
goods.
you
Yep.
don't even bother going. And then when you do get in there, there's a guy that says, okay, you're allowed 1 can of that. Yeah, you can have 1 package of that. You just spent 5 hours getting in there, okay?
And you only got one.
Then you want to go over to the gardening section, but there's no seeds, there's no plants. Well, you can buy a plant, but it's deer-proof and poisonous.
Yeah.
So it's a real mess for people all of a sudden waking up. There are people waking up, but it's a mess. It's a real mess. I went to Country Grocer today, another chain of stores on Vancouver Island here, and there was a lineup around the block. But I wasn't planning on going there, but I had to go to the drugstore and get my old friend her medications and stuff in the blister packs.
Oh,
But I thought, okay, I'll stop in a Country Grocer as long as I'm here because I haven't shopped for like a couple weeks now, 3 weeks now, almost 3 weeks. And I looked at the lineup and I went, oh, no, there's no way. I'm not going to stand here for 2 hours. There's no way. I have food. So it was, it was a decision to just leave. So I left. I didn't bother going in.
Well, at least you got that decision. Some people don't have that decision.
Some people don't. That's what I'm referencing to. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. The biggest thing is when people get weak, they can be pushed around when you're weak from hunger or if you're sick.
That's slowly what's happening is the people that actually listened to us, the preparers, I call us preparers, or
the preppers.
Prepared. Yeah, preppers. They don't, the ones that listen to us are doing okay. The ones that just said, yeah, I hear you, and turned their back on you, they're the ones that are starting to struggle right now and saying, hey, I wish I'd listened to those guys,
Yep.
And unfortunately, that's just the way it is, You did the best you could, and that's what you get,
Yeah.
You got people like that down there in your area, don't you, Wes?
Say again? What?
I said, you got people like that down there in your area. I've seen you try to teach people for a couple of years now. So,
believe it or not, most of the people that listen to what I have to say are from Canada or something. I don't know, but Kalen's train, the ethnic stores we have here are packed every flipping day. So yeah, everybody's already figured that out around here.
You know what I did today? I went for a walk into this local park that I know, and I took my orange tape with me and I put it on every fruit tree wild that I found, so I didn't miss them this summer when I'm doing my canning and drying. And this lady, she comes out to me, she goes, "What are you doing putting litter?" She called it litter. I'm like, litter? I said, "This is biodegradable tape." I said, "I'm putting it on this fruit tree." She goes, oh, you're still littering. She had no clue what I was doing. I'm going to get all this food. Like, I donate up to 10,000 pounds of food to a food bank every year. Okay. That's how much I produce in all these food forests. And I don't take any money. I don't accept money. If someone wants to donate money, I always give it to the Living Edge. It's this place that street people can come and get food. And so I never take money. I have no use for it. I have lots. So, but that's beside the point. I'm bragging a little now. But the point being is the more food that I grow is the more food I can provide to people that don't have any and show them the way to grow the food. And believe it or not, a lot of people that come from the street come here. There's a guy here right now. He came here from the street. I met him at the food bank, and he's been here for the past 3 days, and he's learning how to make soil. That's what is his first thing he's doing. And there's been many like him over the years that come here to my place and other places we have as well. And they learn how to make soil. Soil's the first thing you learn to do. And then its food comes from within the soil. And what an amazing guy. He's already been welding things I needed welded. And he carries his tank on his trailer.
I love that barter system.
But they rounded everybody up 3 days ago here, all the homeless, over 300 with police and stuff, right? And they put them all in hotels. And the ones that didn't want to go to hotels, I think they went to jail.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, because they can't go to a drive-in and get food here. Like McDonald's don't feed the homeless because you're not in a car. They won't give you the food at the drive-through takeout. I wanted to film it and put it on YouTube, but I didn't want any problems from YouTube.
I hear that.
But so what I did is I gave the guy that was told not to come here anymore to the McDonald's. So I jumped out of the car and I seen what happened, and I gave him a bag of food. I went through the lineup. I bought a bunch of burgers, and I just gave him all of them. I didn't have much in the car except my reserve food, which I'm not giving up because that's for me if I break down. Yeah. But
we don't have much for homeless here. But
the homeless
I live on the West Coast, man. There's plenty of them out there.
Yeah. I love the homeless people. I looked after a lot of homeless this winter. It was tough on me, man. But I got out there at 6 o'clock in the morning with that hot drink, and a blanket, and mittens, and a glove. And I'm your brother's keeper. Here you go. And I had a big smile on my face. I didn't ask for anything. I gave them a smile. Yeah, a smile, man. That's what it's all about. Yep. Good times. Good night, Lori Jean.
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up, guys. We're way past what I usually go for, but I was having such a good time. I just let it go.
Much love and respect.
Yep. We had a great
love
night
and
tonight,
respect.
though. I want to thank everybody for coming by. Went really well.
I want to shout
Go
out
ahead,
a channel real.
Go ahead, Wes.
Our whole conversation and how to help other people and teach people and actually show real caring about other people and stuff, and not so much. The channel's name is Buzzard's Roost. The guy lives in Oklahoma. This guy has got so much planted, it's not even funny. He tilled outside of his property and sowed food crops outside of his property on where it would be accessible outside of his fence to his neighbors.
Wow.
Yeah, Buzzard Drew's got good content.
So
I've subscribed to him.
yeah, look it up. I don't have a link or anything, but it's Buzzard's Roost. Go check him out. He's a really good guy. He's if it's possible to be more hillbilly than me, there you go. But he's a good guy.
You two are pretty close in comparison there.
He's probably got a better character level than I do, but I recommend his channel strongly.
I think he tells a joke just a little bit better once in a while. I think he's
Every
got
once-
the joke part.
If he can ever get his catchphrase down, he'll have it nailed. Don't be a dead fish. Wait,
I want to give a shout out too before we get out of here to a guy that belongs to my subscription list. The whole time that I was off sick and everything, and didn't feel good, and I didn't even feel like being on YouTube doing anything, this guy made sure that he came in and was watching some part of my playlist every day. I got several comments and all kinds of stuff from this guy, and I think he deserves some attention. And you guys all know him. It's Michael58. And he spent every day watching a minimum of one of my videos, if sometimes not two or three, and leaving comments on every one of them, just to make sure that I got my watch time while I was not feeling all that hot. So if you guys would do me a favor and get over there and at least watch one of his videos and leaving a comment, it'd make me feel pretty good. It'd be a way I could pay him back. Because he is still doing it even though I'm back, and I think he deserves some sort of booyah. So I want to make sure he gets some notice.
You gotta drop a link down in the description after you close this, or after whatever. It takes 2 hours or whatever for it to do, but then put it down in the description and everybody can go in tomorrow and find his channel and jump over there.
Yeah, I'll try to do that if I can figure it out. But anyway, other than that, I want to thank everybody for coming, man. We had a pretty good discussion tonight. And I will be back next week. We'll have another topic. I'll figure it out and see what we can do next week. Everybody say goodbye, David.
Goodbye, David.
Bye, David.
Goodbye, everybody. Night, everybody. Thanks for coming.
Hasta luego.
Peace.